In this episode, I'm going to be talking about black magic magician E.A. Koetting, a self-proclaimed black magic practitioner and demon summoner, evoker, invoker, and even allowing himself to be possessed by demons in order to learn from them. His movement is called Become a Living God. And I'm not here to make jokes. I'm not here to talk about the meme that H3H3 Productions put out. It was pretty funny where they spoofed how to make a curse, and he put some of the E.A. Koetting ingredients
Are you out of your mind?
of the curse into some French fries and said that it tasted disgusting.
Are you crazy?
Yada yada yada. But I think it was half charcoal. Of course, some half charcoal stuff is disgusting, but that's beside the point. This isn't about jokes. This is about some serious stuff. I'm not going to offer any warnings except perhaps this one warning. Do not use Ouija boards of any type, any shape, or any form. And I'm guilty of it. I've used a Ouija board when I was a kid, innocently, and nothing happened, to be honest, which is probably the result of most people that use them. But even only 1% of people that use Ouija boards end up possessed or their house haunted for a while. It's not really worth that consequence. I have been haunted, more specifically by a poltergeist, for 6 months. It was not fun. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to talk about a specific video E.A. Koetting posted on his channel, and he only showed a tiny snippet. Perhaps the full video is available on his website, I'm not sure, but I'm only able to see this tiny snippet. So I noticed something immediately the first time I saw it. And then when I played it back, I noticed two somethings. They're talking about the demeanor of the lady, and they don't show the clip where her demeanor changes. Perhaps that's in the extended version. They only show a tiny snippet. But what I did notice is the demeanor of E.A. Koetting changed. And it's something that, if you have this ability, you can immediately recognize it in others. So I'm going to show you this clip of E.A. Koetting immediately recognizing a spirit going through his body. This is pretty concrete evidence that E.A. Koetting does have abilities to discern spirits. It talks about the discerning of spirits in the Bible, and I'm not going to be preaching the Bible. I'm simply talking about spiritual gifts. Some people have them, some people have other ones that are more obscure, some people have rare ones, some people have common ones, but I guess it's what you do with those gifts. What I can do is show you an example of what it's like when someone reacts to a spirit and they're surprised. This is what it looks like when a person who has this ability is surprised by a spirit going through their body. It goes through E.A. Koetting's body twice in this tiny clip, and he's very casual about it, yet you can see him jolt. He moves and jolts because when a spirit goes through you, it almost feels like electricity going through your whole body, just for a few seconds. And it's not harmful electricity, obviously. If you could measure it, it would be a very low voltage. It would probably be lower than touching a 9-volt battery to your tongue. It's a very low voltage, but it's enough for you to notice. And some people react to it differently. I would say the fact that E.A. Koetting is trying to be as casual as possible about it is because he doesn't want, or perhaps he knows the people around him won't necessarily acknowledge it, or he doesn't want them to know, or he doesn't care. Maybe he tells them about it afterward, maybe he keeps it to himself. But the video is evidence. Now, I added some special effects, I added some music, and I zoomed in just to really exaggerate the times when this entity goes through E.A. Koetting. This is enough evidence for me. I know he's not acting. It's so subtle and it's not even mentioned. They're asking us to look at the demeanor of the lady, not E.A. Koetting. And on top of that, they don't even show longer than a few seconds of the clip. But this is enough evidence. And check it out for yourself. Judge for yourself.
the word psychic seems to be kind of fading from the
it does.
lexicon,
but she's very good at channeling, that's for sure. Yeah. Her name is Shauna. She lives here locally in town with us, and she's been able to channel this spirit. This spirit was quite belligerent, and in this video, you'll actually see the demeanor of this woman change and begin to speak as this spirit. And he's quite a determined entity that has taken residency up in this home and has caused some calamity for the inhabitants.
So I zoomed in on E.A. Koetting while the lady is just randomly talking. Supposedly she's possessed by a demon at this point. And the guy narrating talks about how the house is haunted. That's the first time it enters his body. You see a slight jolt. The second time you're going to see it a lot stronger. Check it out. And I'm going to replay this. Clearly a jolt of energy went through his body at that point. I'm going to replay it and judge for yourself, but it's pretty good evidence, to me anyway, that E.A. Koetting has this ability to discern spirits. E.A. Koetting has already admitted many times that he does have the ability to discern spirits, most definitely. And a lot of people think of it in a Scooby-Doo, really cartoon way, where the spirit has a full body manifestation. It doesn't work like that 99.9% of the time. 99.9% of the time, the only way you know a spirit is even in your presence is if it walks through you and a tiny jolt of energy goes through you. The closest thing I can describe it as is if you go from a 70-degree room into negative 10-degree weather and you have that jolt of wow, it's really cold. The cold is a really cliche thing. It's not necessarily cold all the time. 99 out of 100 times to me it's not cold. It's simply a jolt of electricity and energy going through your whole body. So it is distinguishable between temperature changing. But it is very similar to how they describe in the movie The Sixth Sense, just that feeling on the back of your neck. And I do occasionally calm my mind and calm my thoughts and just focus on, if anything, just the universe. Perhaps that's why I have the ability to discern spirits, but I believe I was born with it. I believe it's very strong. I was just born with it, period. And I think E.A. Koetting is one of those people that was also born with it. I've read a couple of E.A.'s books. I've read his first book, Kingdoms of Flame. I did a review on it, and it's an interesting book. And I read a couple of his other books, and I'm going to do a book review on another one of his books in the future. Some might question why I use E.A. Koetting as an example of someone that has this sixth sense ability. The answer is you don't see it too often on camera. Authentic cases, anyway. You will see some bogus psychics on TV pretend to have this ability. And while some might make that same claim about E.A., I personally believe this is a legitimate example. I personally disagree with his methods, but he is an interesting case of someone that does have contact with entities. In no way, shape, or form do I condone or recommend evoking, invoking, or summoning, or allowing a demon to possess you. That can literally result in the destruction of your life, in my opinion, based on what I've seen from other people. You know, there's a saying that I really like. It goes like this: a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. You can watch the mistakes of others from a distance, and if their lives get destroyed from something, learn from it. You don't have to experience everything firsthand to see if something can mess you up or have a negative result. I've never practiced black magic, and I never will. So why would I read his books? Because I'm the type of person that buys occult books, reads them, tries to glean the important information out of them, if there is any. Sometimes there's secret knowledge that's been hidden for 1,000 years. And if I can see someone exposing that, This is the only front on which I am an ally with E.A. Koetting. He likes to expose what the secret groups, the secret cabals have been practicing through secret initiations for thousands of years. He'll reveal it on YouTube videos for free, and I will do the same thing. He will have a different perspective, though. He practices black magic. I do not practice black magic. I don't condone it. I don't in any way, shape, or form endorse it. Do not practice any of these occult things. They will come back to haunt you.
I have met people who claimed to be Satanists, who claimed to be involved with black magic, who claimed that they not only knew a lot about it, but as I said, I've certainly never been involved, and I warn all of you, never, never, never. You will not only lose your mind, you lose your soul.
This has been John Razimus with Occult Unmasked. Be seeing you.